Impatience might make him miss something, and even walls as old as these left hundreds of chemical and structural clues. Know before you go, he reminded himself. The first part of the morning was spent ensuring that the caverns were sound. He need not have worried. The mountain was formed of igneous rock, a type of hardened molten lava that had lasted eons and would last for eons more. By the time Omad finished his tests, he was convinced the dig was stable. His safety assured, he now began looking for the telltale clues of wealth. Wealth that could be shared with his investors, his employers, and himself. If he was right about this place, all would benefit from the investment that individuals and society had made in him. As it should be. Omad would also be pleased to gain 51% of himself, which was also as it should be. His thoughts were interrupted, and his dreams almost shattered by what appeared before him. A tunnel shaft in abject disarray. It was blocked by a few large boulders among hundreds of smaller shards in all shapes and sizes. What had he missed? The sight of such instability alone almost made him turn back and choose a new mine. He had just conjectured that this one would last eons, and now here was proof that it was coming down a lot sooner than expected. Clearly a malfunction on the part of his hardware, he reasoned. Perhaps a costly one. But his years of experience told him what he already knew. The type of rock he'd ventured into didn't need a reader to give up its history, only to verify it. He would exchange the mind reader when he returned, but against his better judgment, or perhaps because of it, he decided to venture a little farther. There was something here, and he knew it. Plus, he was driven by his personal mantra, little risk, little profit. So he bent to examine the crumbled evidence before him. Explosives, he realized upon examining the shards. Not a natural cave-in after all. More evidence lay in Omad's path. Whatever, or more precisely, whoever had made this mess, had left the detonator, some primitive blasting caps, and, humorously, an instruction manual on how to set off explosives in a mine. Since no skeleton or evidence of a body was visible, the perpetrator had obviously read the manual well, done the deed, and exited to safety. There was also a box of something called Twinkies. Omad picked it up and examined it carefully. Aside from its unique and unusual artwork, he was able to discern its key ingredients, as well as something called an exp date, which was marked from an 11th month in what appeared to be the early 21st century. This was starting to get interesting. He gathered all the wrappers and placed them in an airtight container, along with the manual and blasting caps he had so far collected. Omad loved a mystery, and judging from the leftover wrappers, whoever blasted this tunnel had time to eat at least 28 of these Twinkie things and walk out in one piece. Must have been some kind of nutritional energy snack, he thought, as he cracked his knuckles and continued on deeper into the shaft. The dry, consistent atmosphere had preserved the scene almost as if the long-gone blaster had left just before Omad had arrived. Even if he couldn't make a profit out of what was buried in the tunnel, he might just make a profit from what he'd just discovered outside of it. The nutritional wrappers and blaster manual alone would fetch a very good price on the open relic market. No, even if he found nothing else, today would not be a loss by any stretch of the imagination. The El Dorado and the Francisco mines are played out for gold and silver. However, they, like the No Timbers mine, still may have substantial amounts of lead and zinc. But it is doubtful the amounts present can be extracted economically with the present state of mining technology. Colorado Mining Commission report on the El Dorado mine ownership transfer, July 19, 1978. One of only 2 sources in which the No Timbers mine is mentioned. Neela Harper was not a country girl. In fact, she'd always preferred the big city. Anything with only 1.5 million people in it just didn't seem natural. If she had had any inkling that the career she had chosen for herself would dump her in this remote part of the world, she probably wouldn't have chosen it. Then again,